Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today I want to make a video on my bull case for why I am buying Palantir, and I wanted to kind of mind map it out here for you so you can better understand exactly my reasoning behind why I think Palantir is probably one of the best, not only companies out there in the tech sphere, but also just a really good investment. But first, I wanted to kind of zoom out and not just talk about Palantir government contracts right now, but overall the general plan that the United States has for foreign powers that want to take market share of being a world superpower. And if you've known anything, if you've been in the news at all, you know the Chinese and the Ukrainian and Russian war right now is still heavily going on. And what I wanted to point to was the two types of attacks that Russia used against Ukraine and other nations. Their first was cyber attacks. You know, if you don't include the 2019 like separatist revolt in Ukraine. So separatists trying to go back to Russia and make Ukrainian more Russian. Despite that, the first attacks, you know, usually come from cyber attacks, gathering intel, all that sort of stuff. And then the ground attack came second. And if Sun Tzu and the art of war has taught us anything, is that when people are fighting, pay attention. What were their methods? What worked well for them? What didn't work well for them? And China right now sees what's working for Russia and what's not working for Russia. And boots on the ground attack doesn't seem to be going that well for Russia as of recording this. China sees the trouble that Russia is in and on the world stage because of their war. So I had this article, but this article right here, Beijing chafes at Moscow's request for support, Chinese officials say. So China is already pretty apprehensive about the type of trouble that they will get into, not only from the US, but nations across the globe if they decide to conduct war in a manner similar to how Putin is conducting his war right now. And this is a pretty good article. I'm going to leave all the links that I use down in the description. So definitely check that out. But as we can see, China sees what's going on in Russia and Ukraine and the backlash that Russia is getting. So this is where my second point comes into place. The last major war arguably was ended because of technological advancements. So nuclear weapons, better spying technology, etc. So China, seeing how the ground war is going, you know, they're not probably gonna do a ground war. You know, they're probably going to use technological warfare. So if China's most likely to use technological warfare because they see the backlash that happens between these two types of warfare, you know, China's going to use technological warfare and a superiority of technological warfare, because not only have they seen what is happening in Ukraine and Russia right now, but also the last major wars have ended because of technological advancements. And since this is the case, you know, it implies that what China really needs to not only defeat the US, but defeat any other superpower is technological advancement. And what is the United States' best military technology right now? Palantir. And Palantir government contracts are what the majority of Palantir's income is based off of. And once you get these military contracts, you become the go-to person for the military to, you know, whatever your product is, you know, whether that's planes, you know, software, they're going to go to these companies. So I wanted to show you guys a little snippet of one of my favorite YouTubers on the Palantir topic. And this is just going over, again, kind of how these government contracts now are, they have to go to the best person or company that makes the particular product that the government needs in order to have a defense plan against threats like Russia against China. And we've already seen that China needs technological superiority in order to accomplish their goals. So here's a video by Amit.
Because they sued the government. The government used to have a horrible procurement mechanism to actually find technology companies. It was like this archaic method of sourcing vendors and then like non-technical people trying to evaluate the technology. It was just all political and it didn't make any sense. Palantir sued the government lost that case, and then they had to start picking the best technology from a meritocratic perspective. And if we know anything about Palantir, it probably has the best tech in the world when it comes to the software stuff. So
Palantir, one of the best tech softwares out there, essentially sue the government for them to have to pick the best. And the best out there right now, technological wise, is Palantir. So Palantir is definitely going to be getting these government contracts because of not only China, not only Russia, but other countries that wish to do us harm. So I want to come down here. This is your first time encountering Palantir. I kind of define Palantir as easy access to movable secure data that can give users options across different domains of privacy and hierarchy. And I just wanted to show a little bit of their Gotham system and what it's actually capable of, because I think the ability to give operators the option to do particular things is something that there's no other cybersecurity software like Palantir out there.
The commander is briefed on the fast developing situation and examines several human and machine-generated courses of action that have been jointly tested and developed in past exercises and simulations. The first option involves sending reinforcements to a nearby base, which may take too long. The second option is to send a manned aircraft over the fishing vessels, which could introduce unnecessary risk. The third option is a freedom of navigation operation, which means positioning an American or allied ship closer to the developing situation. This option appears to have the highest probability of success with the lowest risk. Joint forces decide to task an American ship. Once the choice is selected, a task order is submitted, and the American ship quickly alters course. The team watches closely as the operation progresses, and as the American ship approaches, the fishing vessel blockade begins to disband.
So that's just a little bit about a little inside look into what like Palantir actually does as a technology. And seeing Gotham, seeing what they've already put out there, my next thought was, well, what is the next domain of warfare going to be if it's probably not going to be boots on the ground? And it's probably going to be some sort of technological advancement in warfare. And I found this cool little infographic that I just want to show you about the different countries' presence in space. So this is, the nations in orbit. U.S. has, approximately 883 satellites compared to China's 296, compared to Russia's 150. So right now the U.S. does have, a technological superiority in space right now, and we want to keep that. That's why, I think that's why Palantir is one of the best investments that you can make, not only from a profit perspective, but for a defending, not only the United States, but European countries as well. So being able to have easily accessible, movable, secure data that gives users the option to cross-reference different options and through different domains of hierarchy, I think is going to be a really important aspect when it comes to space warfare, because that's where we're getting the most accurate satellite data. That's where they were able to find and predict where that Chinese destroyer was heading towards Taiwan, is because of the technology that we have in space. So I just wanted to give you another contract that Palantir has. So showing Palantir is already in the domain of space. So here's the U.S. Partnership. They are increasing the value of the contract that they already had to 175 million and some change to ensure the continuous delivery of Palantir's data and decisions platforms to support national security objectives through March 2023. So, you might, March 2023, that's almost like a year away. It's like, well, that's how these government contracts work. But once you get one of these government contracts, they're coming back to you every time because you are the best in the industry and you sued them to prove that you were the best in the industry and that they have to pick you. So of course, but if all of this is to defend against, the Chinese threat to the United States, national security apparatus, then what is China doing in space? And well, they just imaged the entirety of Mars. So, and we all know our boy Elon Musk is heading to Mars, and Elon Musk has his own government contracts. So it's quite literally, the next space race. I don't think the space race ever stopped. I think it slowed down. But, China has essentially got the data on Mars right now. So as long as there is this contention between the US and China or any other nefarious actor out there, then I think we're always going to have this bull case for Palantir. At the right price right now, Palantir is like, what is it? It's like $7 to like $9, I think right now. I think at that price, I think this bull case right here is very strong, considering that we're in the early stages of this new type of warfare in space, where it's mainly about data, having the best data available possible to make decisions. And we've already seen Palantir in the US, China doing the same thing. But I also want to show you it's not just about having superiority in space. The things that come out of space and out of the research that is done in space, whether that's in the name for warfare or for scientific research, the improvements come back down to Earth and make all of our lives better. So I just want to show this video of the military improvement that happens. And then again, another video by my boy here, link in the description. He puts out great content. But I just wanted to have him read this Army's new Titan program that Palantir just received, to show that it's not just, space advancement, but it's also advancement for a boots on the ground type of war.
Titan, the Army will be able to merge varied data from a rapidly proliferating series of sensors, enabling frontline forces to gain situational awareness and make real-time decisions at transformative speeds. This effort is a critical enabler that advances the Army towards JADC2 and deters the near-peer threat. So it's about mission-critical things that the Army is going to be able to do in the context of sensor data. Now, more than ever, the nation's warriors and allies are being asked to make more decisions at a faster speed.
Yeah, so, Palantir is that front line that is allowing, I'd say, the combination of data security not only into like space technology, but also into our traditional forms of war that we've seen from the Russian-Ukrainian war, that those are still a real threat. It's not to say we only focus on, having the best technology cybersecurity wise, but we also need to have the best boots on the ground type war, because that's still a warfare that can happen. Not to say that it will, but it can. And with the Ukrainian and Russian war, we've seen that it is very likely. But also on the flip end of that, military gets improved, space technology gets improved. But what are the things that, average day person their life has been improved because of technological space advancements? Well, we got an article here. There's like a list of 20 of them. Being diabetic myself, I didn't know the insulin pump was produced in space. I was like, oh wow, like I thought that would have been something, that would have been developed a lab here on Earth. But no, but even LASIK, improving our eyesight, water filtration, that's going to be really important coming up in the water wars, if you think those are actually going to happen. Wireless headphones, where would we be without our wireless headphones? I couldn't be in the gym without my wireless headphones. Invisible braces, CAT scans, baby formula. We just went through a baby formula shortage. So, all of these technological advancements that happen in space, they're not just confined to improving things in space. They're committed to doing both improving what happens in space, because we need technological advancement like Palantir, but also, improving the everyday lives of everyone here on Earth. This was just my mind map of what I think what my bull case for Palantir is right now. And I think as long as, we have nefarious actors like China, Russia, and anyone else, Palantir is going to be the go-to security software for not only a boots on the ground type of war, but also in the next domain of war, which I believe is going to be space, whether that's the cybersecurity space, data space, or the actual satellites that are orbiting our Earth right now. And yeah, that's my bull case for Palantir. Thank you guys so much for watching, interacting with this video in any way that you want. I hope the mind map format made sense. I think it's just so much more intuitive than trying to read off of a script, and you get to see how things interact with each other in a visual way. And getting back to that's kind of what Palantir does. It lets you interact with the data in a visual way. So I guess we kind of just came full circle. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.